All right. So, this video is mostly for the members of my D&D group. Uh, hey guys, uh, for you, feel free to go forward a little bit till we get to the point where I've brought up a character sheet in this for you guys to take a look at. I'm going to be putting in a little bit extra thing here for anyone that is doing this because every single video I found online is at least 2 years old, so a lot of this stuff has visually changed. Anyway, guys in my D&D group, feel free to go on ahead till you see me with a character sheet up. All right. For those of you that have chosen to stick around and probably aren't part of my D&D group, so this is Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Now, I have a lot of modules that I have installed. If I go here to add-on modules, and I will be showing you how to get back to this page from the main one later, just in case. Feel free to skip ahead and then jump back if you want. These are all the ones I have installed. Some of them I'm not using because I don't really see the point in it. But they were all recommended to me by a person that's been using this a lot longer, so I just installed them all. But there are two that I want to make sure that that you guys have installed. So let me get through here. Indian folders. So if you're going to be importing from D&D Beyond, you're going to want the D&D Beyond importer. I'm going to show you guys later how to do that as part of what my own D&D group will probably need to know, but that's what you're going to want. It's actually pretty easy to install. You just go to down here to install module, and up here, type in D&D, and it'll probably be one of the very top ones. Pretty darn easy. The other one is, let me see here. Where's Plutonium. So this is a 5e Tools integration. 5e Tools, just Google it, you can find it. And basically, on their website, it has the instructions on how to do it mostly. So once you get the web address that it gives you through that, which is going to be up here in your little browser once you're to the proper page, you're going to come back here, go to install module, and put it in down here and click install. For me, it just worked right off the bat perfectly fine. So that's all you guys really need to know about that. Now let me just launch the world. Mark myself down as the game master. All right, so not going to go immediately into the stuff for my group. For those, this is also for those of you. You need to go over here to first the little gears up here, the game setting, then go down to manage modules and go in your list and make sure that D&D Beyond Importer, if that's what you choose to use, or Plutonium are checkmarked. D&D Beyond Importer and Plutonium, at least currently, do not have these, which is just basically what this means is that the software, the module wasn't given a version for Foundry that it was meant to work with, or in this case, it doesn't know what that is. So, but most of the time that can be ignored. So let's start off. So we're going to go here to actors, and normally for you guys, you do create actor, enter in the name on it. If it's a player, if it's a character for your players, you do player character. If it's a non-player character, you do this one. It's a little bit simpler, but for some of my NPCs, especially ones that I think might join the group, I choose to go with a player character one. And then, of course, there's a vehicle, which I haven't played around with. You pick which folder you want to put it in, which all these are your own created things, but as anyone that's organized anything on computers knows, probably a good idea to do that, to have it nice and neat and organized. Then create new actor, and it'll put it where you want. All right, so we're going to go in here. We're going to go to new actor. So for the people in my D&D group, this is where you would be coming in, hopefully. I'll try and remember to mark a little thing for you guys to make it easier for you to get to this point. But I'm going to hold on for a few seconds. That way, if they're going by quick, they'll still be able to catch this. So okay, I'm going to assume my guys are here, and so yeah. So first, I'm going to show you how to import from D&D Beyond. You'll just see right here where it says D&D Beyond. You click on that. You come on back here. You open up the page in D&D, and I'm going to use a character that the group already has in their party. Rob right here. So you bring up this page, ignore that, that's my own stuff. And you just highlight this up here. So we're going to copy that. And we're going to go back to Foundry, put it in right there. URL has a check mark box. Make sure some of the stuff you're going to want to make sure is checked. Hit die. Image wasn't already checked when I first opened this up and started messing with it to test it. Basically, that's going to be like the little portrait image. That is this right here. So I had it do that. That way it'll show up on the side. Over here, make it easier to notice the character. You can also import companions, update it from D&D Beyond. So you can still come in and do that, and it'll just update it for you. Activate effects. None of these are really going to matter. So only ticked items will be updated. So that's all that really matters for that. Update configuration. And by the way, this matters for importing as well, not just importing companions or updating. Those are different tabs up here. So it says update, but it actually means import. Use spell school icons from D&D Beyond. Use equipment icons. This one. If this feature is marked as an action, import both the action and the feature. This might lead to some weird behavior, so I leave that undone. Ignore items on character sheet that have not been imported from D&D Beyond. This will remove items that have been removed from the D&D Beyond character sheet since the last import, but will keep items added to the character within Foundry. So the way I understand it is basically, if it looks at your D&D Beyond character inventory and it says, oh, he has all of these items, it will ignore items on character sheet that have not been imported from D&D Beyond. Okay, so normally when you were to do this, it would basically clear out your character's inventory and then create a whole new inventory based on what D&D Beyond says your inventory is. If this is checked, then anything that wasn't added by this module will be ignored. So anything that you added into your inventory from in here. Okay. So we're gonna, once that's all taken care of, we're going to hit start import. And so yeah. Custom items. This is for the Steel Defender. This is for his magical tinkering. This is for his infuse items. And I'm just going to let it go with default. It's going to go through the whole thing. You can see the picture over here updated. That up there updated. And now here's everything. His armor class, his hit die, his hit points. You can even take a look here. It's all matching up. Even all of his stats. 16, 15, 18. 16, 15, 18. With both the proficiencies there and all of his proficiencies here, as well as all of his languages and everything. And here's his inventory for all of his stuff. These are custom items that I have created, so there isn't an icon for it to import, but yeah, it took care of the rest. Let's crowbar is a pickaxe. I'm gonna go back here and just check something. So let's see. Crowbar. So yeah, it looks like it didn't import that. Instead, it used whatever image it had that it thought probably matched. So for things like that don't have an item, I'm betting it just picks something that it thinks matches. You know, proper name. It probably has a lot of stuff figured out in here. Then all of the features were also imported, including the proper levels for the classes and the subclasses, and all of these features. passive abilities like the fact that this guy's an awakened zombie, so he gets this little awakened thing. You can see right here what this means. Ability score improvement, so this is all like his race stuff. Spellcasting, artificer specialist, extra attack, all that stuff. Okay. And his spell book, here's all of his spells imported with what type they are, as well as the local icons for that. Any effects he was under at the time, and also if I had put anything in his biography section, his biography. I think I actually have to update him to a level 6, but anyway. So that's that. That is how you do it if you're importing from D&D Beyond. Now I'm going to show you how you do it if you're doing it in game. I'm just going to do test, player character, NPC. There we go. So if you're not importing from D&D Beyond, obviously you could go through and do all of this yourself. You could go to features and then, and I will have this, I will import all of this stuff. I haven't gotten around to that, but I will be doing that. For instance, I can go to classes and subclasses here, and I can tell it to import the artificer. It'll import it, and then it brings it up here in a classes tab. And then you could just drag it over here and tell it what level you want to start at, and it'll start working on everything. For instance, if I do level, say level 3, it's going to import it at level 3. Okay, what are your hit point increase? Take the average. Skill proficiencies that you get with it. I'm going to just grab 2 at random here. And, you know, selected items. So this is like extra thing you get. Alternatively, you can take roll for starting gold or enter starting gold, up to you. And then you can choose either studded leather or scale mail. Right here, if it's like the sunken in button but with nothing in there, that means it's default. You can't choose not to take it. Where there is this item thing, you select this and it gives you a list of all the items you can choose through. I'm just going to delete this. And here is the spells. You kind of have to already know a little bit, unfortunately. Well, let's just do Green Flame Blade. There we go. Populate the spell book. We're going to cancel the rest of that. So there's that. So that's kind of how that would work normally. Going to delete that and create another test. Now, here's for anyone in my group or for anything else, this is where Plutonium comes in. So you're going to come up here to the 3 vertical dots and click where it says Plutonium Import. Okay? Now you're going to take a look at your character. Let's say that, once again, we were trying to recreate Rob here. Actually, let's do something different. Say instead of Rob, let's try and do a different person. Let's try my first ever character. Let's try Nico. Some people in my D&D group will probably be familiar with this character. He's also comparatively simple to a lot of the crazier stuff I tried, other than being level 20. We're not going to do that. So for race, we're going to do Lightfoot Halfling. So we're going to go down here to races and sub-races, and we're going to click on this double arrow. Now we're going to find... They're all in alphabetical order, so we're going to want to try and find Lightfoot. Oh, no. Here we go. Halfling, Lightfoot. And there you go. It gives you that. So we're going to select that, and then we're going to click Import. Wish to apply ability score modifications? Yes. So now if we come back here, we'll notice that he has all the Lightfoot stuff. At least all the information about age, his lucky feat, all that stuff. Okay. You also notice that these modifiers added on. Because of this, I recommend going in and putting in what the base rolls are before, or later on, just come back and put in whatever it says it actually is. Whatever you put here will overwrite whatever the systems had put in there anyway. So it's just fine. It'll be fun like that. So let's go back here. So we now have our race with all of their features. So we're going to classes and subclasses. We don't need to worry about features yet. So we're going to go classes and subclasses, and he is a ranger. We're going to be starting off at level 3, so we're going to pick his Horizon Walker. Right? He is Horizon Walker. Yeah, Horizon Walker. Right? That's what I thought. We're going to pick Horizon Walker. Going to do import. We're going to pick level 3. Import levels 1 through 3. And once again, health going to take the average. Skill proficiencies. Going to pick 3. So we're going to pick 3 of those. I'm not really caring too much. I'm just getting you guys through this. Feel free to pause whenever you want. Once again, we have this where we get to pick either scale mail or leather. Just so I can fully show you guys this, so instead of 2 short swords, I'm going to pick B, and then I'm going to go over here to the little magnifying glass, and I'm going to say, let's do dagger and a mace. Okay, explorer's pack, and then the class gets a longbow with arrows at the start. Click confirm on that. It's going to move us on to the next step. So the ranger at level 1 gets deft explorer. So just an FYI, what this system does is it uses here. If I come back here and we go up here for the class features, right, I need to come in here and select optional class features. So he has natural explorer. Nico does. But an optional class feature is this deft explorer, which actually replaces replaces the other thing, as it says right here. It replaces the natural explorer feature. So it does that. You can still choose to go with the natural explorer stuff instead. In order to do that, you have to basically ignore this. You can just click skip, which we're going to right now. And then you'll have to put in that particular default feature later, which I will show you guys in a little bit. So fighting style, I had him go with archery, so we're going to go with that. All right, and that is done. So now if we come on out here and take a look, Halfling Lightfoot, have all of that set up. And like I said, we can come in here, and if we come back here and take a look, we have abilities of 14. So you want to look at the actual totals, because these are on D&D Beyond, for instance, it takes into account your racial bonus. This is what you have to do yourself if you don't apply the base score before putting in your race. It's something you'll have to take into account. So maybe save race for later. I should have done that as well. But anyway, so since we've already done that, and we are working off a D&D Beyond character and not just straight up importing it, we'll just work off of the total score. So 14, 19, 11. 14, 19, and 11. And yes, I realize that my character is way higher than he should be, but we're not caring about that too much. 8, 14, 14. 8, 14, 14. And as you guys can see, it changed. So this number here on the left, that is your base modifier. This number on your right is your saving throw modifier. Okay. It keeps track of your level up here. You can also do experience, but I don't really do that. So there's that. Let's say because we don't have the oh wait, we do have a natural explorer, right? Yeah, natural explorer. Yeah, I think it puts it in by default. Yeah. So here's a little thing, just as an example. So he has favorite enemy because he's a ranger. Now there is no there is no like different versions of favorite enemy for the different choices. So here's what I prefer to do. So if I was going to have his favorite enemy be beasts, for instance, I'm gonna do that, change the name here, and put in BEASTS. Do that, and then just click off and click the X, and now it's marked down as favorite enemy beasts. That helps me remember. Okay. You can do the same thing here for Natural Explorer because it's different areas. So, you know, forest. That way you could just kind of remember. And as far as spells, so two things you're going to need to do if you don't have some other way of looking it up and you're relying entirely on the game, on a Forge, is we are going to go up here to Ranger. Okay. We're going to open this up, and right over here it tells us the known spells. So our character's level 3, so he should know 3 spells right now. But he only has 1 in his spell book, protection from evil and good, because that's something he gets from his class. Well, if I had the stuff imported and we went over here to items, so let me spells. Let's just, I'm gonna do that. Just import everything. Importing to a compendium instead. Ah, right. All right, anyway. So if I let's go back here and I'm just going to grab 1 spell. And don't worry for the guys in my D&D group, I'll have all of this ready for you. I'm just going to go up to the top here. Grab 2. I'm going to import. They're already imported, so now they're here in the spells. And here's the thing. Neither one of these are things that our character here could use as a spell, but it will still let us drag and drop them in here, and it'll create the proper level. Obviously, it doesn't have any spell slots, but it'll still let us do that, which is good for stuff like me, where I like to have fun with that kind of stuff. But it doesn't help the player at all, because it doesn't tell there isn't even a way to look it up and figure out, oh, okay, so these are spells I can actually use. This is another part where Plutonium comes in handy. So we're going to go here and we're going to go to spells. And Plutonium has already recognized, oh, he's a ranger and he's a ranger horizon walker. And it populates this list here only with the spells that our character can learn for his class. Not necessarily for his level, but that's fine. You can do this, mark down a level, and be done. So these are all the ones that our character can learn. Straight up, all the ones they can learn. Doesn't mean that they should learn all of them, because if we move this one over and this one over so I can bring this up to the front, he only has 3 first level slots and then cantrips. And he only has 4 slots in total, if I'm not mistaken. Let's come back here and take a look. Here. Yeah, he doesn't actually learn cantrips. Cantrips will be marked down differently in here. So yeah, something to keep in mind. But I'm sure anyone that's made a character before will know. This is why, personally, if your player, this is just a little note for anyone that isn't my players. If you're a player that isn't familiar with all this stuff, have them do it in D&D Beyond. Have the D&D Beyond importer on here and have them do that. It'll be a little bit more restrictive for them. And I know a lot of people don't like D&D Beyond. But I think that for someone that is just starting out and doesn't know any of these systems well enough, D&D Beyond's character creator is absolutely fantastic for that. But that's a personal thing. Anyway. So yeah, I'm going to go here and I'm going to give him, because he's supposed to have 3. So I'm going to give him Goodberry, Cloud Fog, and Hunter's Mark. I'm going to hit import. It's going to import all of those onto the character. And now I can go to the spellbook, and here they all are. It even has them marked down if their concentration or anything like that. You can click on this and see what it does. You can even, these boxes that have like the little briefcase, you can click on that and it'll bring up the info on it. So, you know, once again, if you're a new player or even a DM like me, and it's like, okay, well, what the heck is the frightened stat again? Oh, well, just click on the button. Here's what it does. Also, something else you can do as a player, if you click on here, actually here, let me switch over to this, which, by the way, any of these tabs here, if you right click, it'll pop it out into a separate window inside of the window for you so you can have it easily accessible. So if I click on the D20 right here, click cast at this level, it does that. It takes away one here and it sends it into here, into the chat, as you can see, into both versions for the DM and anyone else to see. That way we can all check everything. All right, so I think that kind of covers everything. There's other stuff for the DMs to know, but I'm not going to do that here. This was just about showing you guys how to create characters. Needed both of them in here, so we're going to do that. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed that. See you next time.